Turn that. Yeah. Hello. Hi. Why am I breathing through my nose? All right, wait. We got to do a song. Got to do a song. Okay, ready? Baby, 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 why you want to treat me this way? You know I'm still your lover boy. I still feel the same way. That's why she told me the story about free milk and a cow and said no hugging, no kissing until I get a wedding vow. Come on now, my honey, my baby, don't put my love upon no shelf. She said don't hand me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. Mm. Happy Sunday morning. I know, what a way to wake up. Sorry. Nightmare. Yeah, it's been a weekend. I'm just gonna go into it. I hope y'all are doing well. We've had it. We've been through it this weekend. I'm just gonna tell you my story. So we're gonna have a great day today. Not gonna lie to you. My bro is gonna come over. My daughter, one of my sons, possibly. It was just gonna be a nice day. It was just gonna be a nice, like, let me cook for you. Let's go sit by the pool type of day. Beautiful weather here in Rhode Island. Before I go on, hi everybody. In case you don't know, you're new here. I'm Kiki. We have a great online radio station. It's called Kiki.fm, free in the App Store. I know. So if you like the classic hits, classic rock, go ahead, give it a listen. If you like it, download it to your phone. You can listen to it anywhere. Also, if you like music, entertainment type of newsy things, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you would. Hit the like button because please, YouTube likes when you like it. They just do. It's an algorithm AI thing. Has nothing to do with people, but they like if you like. So like, please, I appreciate it. Moving on to my story. Hello, Suzanne, Cindy, Patty. How are you? Would love to see you someday in person. Again, Patty, right? So moving on to the story. Story time. Hello, Debbie. How are you? From El Paso, Texas. I'm sure it's hot as blazing in El Paso. So sending some cool vibes your way. Friday night, as you know, it was 4th of July. And, Al and I took a nap. This is how excitingly fun we are. Here's the thing. I wait for summer all year, all whatever through the seasons. I just wait for it to return. And then once it gets here and it's really hot and stuff, I just relax. I lay on the couch, I watch a little TV, I take a nap. But I feel good about it because it's nice outside. I know, right? Instead of being outside, I sit on my couch and I look at the outside, but it's fine. I'm happy. It makes me happy. So did that, took a nap, and then I wake Al up. I'm like, it's 6 o'clock. We really should go see our friends. We were invited to a couple places, so we said let's just go and see our friends because we should do that. He goes, what is that? Huh? Where am I? What time is it? Is it 8 a.m.? No, it's still the same day from before you took your nap. And you're just delirious right now. When you go in, I call them coma sleeps. When you go into a coma sleep, you just don't know what's happening when you wake up. He was in that. So we get up, we get dressed, and we go over to Johnson's Pond, which is just so nice, so beautiful. People are out there in their boats, swimming, jumping, singing, dancing, whatever they're doing. And, we go see our friends, Roberta and Stephanie. It was Manny's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Manny. And then we went over to one of my relatives, Margaret. She lives right down the little path, which is so fun. And we watched fireworks from her place. I love Margaret. I love everybody. They're just so nice. And had a great time. It was just fun. Nice night. We come back home. I don't know, ate a snack probably because we were just in an eating mode. We had some great food at Roberta's, relative's place. It was really fun. Ice cream cake. It was nice. And ribs. The ribs were really good. So we do that. We get up Saturday morning. Now I have all intention of, cleaning my house, doing some cooking, going to Market Basket, my favorite Market Basket, and doing some food shopping so I could cook for today. Now, mind you, let me back up a smidge. This is just a story. It is what it is. This is my weekend. A few days ago, I said to Al, there's a dead mouse rodent in our house because there was just this smell. And if you've ever smelt a dead mouse, either it smells like fish when it dies. I know it's the weirdest thing, or it smells like bad feet. There are the two odors that you have a dead something in your house. So I'm smelling the dead feet smell. I'm like, there's dead mouse somewhere. Those little suckers, they can emit an odor, and that's why they can be dangerous. I know little mice can be dangerous. However, they can still be cute too. The one swimming in my pool. Moving on. So Al's like, no, I can't find a thing. And I said, okay, well, whatever. So we move on with our lives. Well, yesterday morning, I hear him say, "Oh, shit," and then he said it again, and I'm like, "Oh, Louis must have pooped or something," because he does that. He's old. What do you want? I'm fine with it. I don't care. Al, however, at the same time, it's the same dramatic response. "Oh, blah, 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 blah." Listen, the guy's almost 15. Leave him alone. He could do what he wants. So Al's saying it again and again. I'm like, "Oh gosh, I don't think this is the typical Louis angry thing." So I said, "What's the matter?" No, knowing in my head that it's probably a Louis thing, but it was not. "We have a leak." I'm like, because it's Saturday, the day after the 4th of July. Our plumber's not coming here. He's just not gonna do it, even though he's here. And my brother said it's weird that he's at our house 2 to 3 times a year. And I'm like, "Well, this is just standard because we have old copper pipes." And he's like, I have old copper pipes, but this doesn't happen in my house." I said, "Well, we have well water." I guess what well water does is corrode copper pipes. This is just information. I don't know. I'm just spewing it out of my head because it's all still in here. So that's what's happening. And it was a bad leak because Al had a lot of his clothes underneath where the leak was. That's where the smell was coming from. The clothes were soaking wet. I had several boxes of brand new shoes, and this is where the hoarder of me comes in. This is where we need to talk about that too. In boxes, brand new, still with like receipts in them and everything, ruined. Ruined. Okay. Al's clothes, I said, "Okay, this is what we gotta do. We gotta go to the laundromat. We can't run the water in the house." So the water's turned off. And I said, "We gotta go to the laundromat before these clothes start stinking, because if you get wet clothes and then they just sit, they will turn moldy and you will never get that smell out and you have to throw them away." So we said, okay, we bagged up these heavy, humongous bags of wet Al clothes, put them in my car. And 2 nights prior here in Rhode Island, we had a huge storm. Huge. Now, it was very quick where I live. However, I guess in the town around me, Coventry, Rhode Island, many, many houses, and I was so sad to hear it, lost power for, some of them, I don't know if hopefully they all have power back now, but they lost power for at least 24 hours. Trees down. A house actually caught on fire in my town because of the storm, probably lightning. And a few years ago, we had a microburst, they call it, come through. I know we had a few of them here the other night because the wind was insane and it was freezing cold. So it was a mess. I said, "Let me turn off my computer and unplug it because I don't want a power surge." We've had that before and our computers have gotten fried. So I did that. I was a good person. I was a good technical person, I thought. Turned it off. Al's like, "Well, you shouldn't just press the button." I said, "I didn't press the button. I turned it off by the little icon at the bottom of the screen, shut it down, unplugged it." Great. No, not great at all. Friday morning, I plug it back in, I turn it on, blue screen. "Your computer needs to restart. We'll do it for you." I'm like, "All right." not thinking anything of it. So later in the day, because I was doing stuff all day, I come back and it's still looking like that. And I Google it and it says, "That's the blue screen of death." Yeah. So I let it sit overnight, and then yesterday morning, we're dealing with the leak and the pounds, and I mean pounds and pounds of wet clothes. How did we not see this? I can't tell you guys. We're in and out of that closet every day, several times a day. I don't know. I go to look at my computer again, and Al said, "I worked on it all night. I can't get it to work." And he's pretty good. He's a nerd, and he's pretty good. He's brought my computer back before, not from the blue screen of death, I don't recall, but he's brought it back dead. So I call a local computer guy, and he got back to me very quickly. I will put his name out. I will share his Instagram on my Instagram because he has an Instagram and he's local and he's getting all his business from Google. I know. Great tip, pro tip. So wonderful. His name's Mike. I was at his house. I was playing with his kids. I mean, like crazy. These things you cannot make this stuff up. And he had a customer leaving as we're going in. Guy's busy, right? He does a lot of stuff for a lot of businesses around the town, so I'm like, "He's gotta be good," because I was thinking of going to the big box BB store, and quite honestly, I'm glad I did not, because that store is really a hassle and a pain in the butt, because if you've ever been there, gotten a computer from there, it's so much aggravation, I will tell, and it takes days to get things done. Well, Mike, my new friend, our new friend, I should say, I mean, I was there Al and I were there for about almost 4 hours yesterday morning, watching him do what he's gotta do, blah, blah, blah. And then finally I said, "Listen, can I go to the laundromat? I got these clothes in my car." He goes, "You know what? Go, because this is gonna take a while." Well, about 4:30, I know this is a long story. This is my weekend. I know. About 4:30, I texted him. I said, "Hey, what's going on? How's my little baby computer doing?" He's like, "Yeah, it's still downloading," like, 'cause he put a new hard drive in. He said, "This shouldn't be happening." So, I texted back and said, "Well, does this mean I should just get a new tower?" He said, "Probably." So, the poor guy's working on this all day, and so okay. So, I get ready to go to BB because I where else do you go to get a computer? I wasn't gonna go to Walmart. I was just gonna go to BB. So I go to Mike's house and I'm like, "All right, what do I have to give you because you've been working on my computer all day, even though we can't fix it?" He said, "Well, let me tell you, I've got a Dell all-in-one computer." Now, I've been an HP girl for years. I said, "But all-in-one, I had an all-in-one from HP." I did. We spent a lot of money on it back in the day, and it lasted me 12 months. That was it. It was a piece of garbage. Touch screen, it was cool in the beginning. It was a piece of garbage. He goes, "You got a piece of garbage." And he said, "When you buy computers," these are things I didn't know from the big box stores, any of them. He said, "Any of them, you're getting something completely specifically made for the big box store." I didn't know that. How do you know? Think about it. TJ Maxx gets stuff specifically made for their store. Some of these higher end sort like Anthropologie, I think, if they have outlets, they have stuff specifically made for the outlet. J. Crew, same thing. Coach has handbags specifically made for the Coach outlet. They don't come from the Coach store. I think they used to, but I don't believe they do now. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. So I said, "Okay, that makes sense." He showed me a computer he had that he had bought for a client, a Dell all-in-one. I'm like, "Oh, I had a bad experience." He goes, "This is like a business s I don't know, style grade computer. It's going to be fine." All right, so guess what? Mike set me up a brand new computer, which I have to pick up in a bit. He gave me a an older tower because for streaming, I'm gonna try a desktop. I'm gonna take my old monitor that I was using, the tower he just hooked up for me, and I'm gonna use the brand new computer, the all-in-one for editing and things like that and my personal stuff. And he did it all. I mean, he worked on this. I was at his house till 10:30 last night, and I said, "You know what? Listen, this still has an hour and a half to go from what it was downloading," and because he did all the updates and everything. I said, "I'll come back tomorrow." He said, "No problem." But you're not gonna get that kind of service at a big box store. It's not going to happen. I needed to be there last night because he was going into my Google account. You gotta verify, blah, 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 all that stuff. I have to say, great experience. I got to play with kids. I got to play with his kids. I mean, how they're in the ball pit. We're throwing things. His one of his sons, is like, I'm Spider Man, and the other little one was so cute with the big cheeks. And I was playing with him, and he was so cute. And they had cats. Like I got to play with the cats because my cat, I had to put her down almost a year ago. It was good, like, you're in and then they're ordering food, they're like, "Do you want something to eat?" I said, "No, thank you, you're so nice." But I said, "I will probably crawl into bed, with your wife or something, not to be weird, but I'm tired. It's 10:30. It's way past my bedtime." And she's all snuggled up on the couch with a blanket, and I'm like, "Can I?" She goes, "Come on, I'll share my blanket." I'm like, "I gotta go." Again, not being weird, just because I was exhausted. So end of story. If you can find a local computer guy to fix your computer. And I told him I went by the Google reviews. I did. I went by the Google reviews. Now, he was like the first one to pop up in my area, and he has all 5-star reviews. I'm going to give him one. You bet your bottom dollar I will. And he goes, "You know what? Thank you." He didn't even ask me to do it, but of course I'm going to do it. And it was just a great experience. So, all I can say is, going local is really a thing. And I do truly believe we should support our local businesses if they're good. You got some that are just not so good. But if you and also this guy works, he was live stream for the church last night. I'm like, this is a good guy. You know what I mean? This is just a good guy. Does all kinds of stuff with people in the town. He's not gonna mess himself up. So do your due diligence, do your research, go local. It's a good thing, and especially with computer issues, I'll tell you guys, it worked out great for me because I would not have known any of this stuff. And, praying it's all going to be fine. I'm still nervous. I trust him, but like I'm still nervous because, you're still spending money on a new thing but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And the great thing is he goes, "You know what? I can remote in." He hooked me up with the website into your computer if you have a problem in the future. So he's here. He can help. It's just a good thing. And things always work out the way they should. However, I'm tired. Al was up till like 3, he said, still fixing stuff in his closet and getting rid of things. And the whole getting rid of stuff, I had a breakdown yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. I had a breakdown. It was a bad one. Like, I'm crying in the car. What? Don't do that. Don't, come on. But it was a lot. It was just a lot. I had to cancel today, of course, because I can't cook. I can't do you can't what am I gonna do? Come over to my house, but you gotta pee outside. I'm not gonna do that, and I would have all kinds of dirty dishes. That makes me crazy. I don't have a lot of pet peeves, and I'm not really okay, I'm clean. Don't get me wrong, and I do clean things, and I do housekeeping. I trust me, I do these things, but I'm not nuts. You know what I mean? I'm not a crazy person. I'm not out there 24/7 making sure my house is clean because no one comes to visit. So it's like when they come, I gotta, it's gonna make sure it's nice and neat. But that couldn't happen today. Al did turn the water on for me for a few minutes to brush my teeth and get a little clean. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, we can't have the water running until the plumber comes tomorrow, and that's more money. How was your 4th of July? Let us know in the comments. That was mine. But we did get to enjoy fireworks. We got to hang out with some really cool people, and I'm thankful for that. And, at the end of the day, I said to Al, really, this weekend could have been way worse. When you think about it, things can always be worse than what they are, right? Unless it's something really, really bad. But it can always be a lot worse. So even though the money we have to spend this weekend between the computer, the plumber, laundry, all of that stuff, when you think about it, it really is just material things. However, did I want to spend all this money? No. Did I expect to? Nope. Nope. Because now there's other stuff we need to do to the house because of the problem we have. The extent, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. We're just going to talk. So, hi. I know. It's a. Do you believe this happened within 24 hours? It's how your day can go from, we're gonna have a great weekend. We're gonna have such a great weekend. We're gonna go in the pool. We're gonna float. We're gonna drink. We're gonna eat. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna socialize. Nope. Nada. Nada. Let's see what's going on. Hi, Scott. How are you? And Kiati. And let's see. What are the numbers for? Number 3. What does that mean? Is that because you guys were, like, the first ones on? I don't even I've never seen that before. See, it says crown, number 2. Hi, Cindy, Nancy, and crown, number 3 for Kathy. I don't know what that means, and Suzanne is crown number 1 and in purple. I literally don't know what that means, so if you can let me know, let me know. Um, Patty says, "Kiki, sorry for the events in your weekend. I happened to close on a new home." What? Congratulations. It has a few projects, but we will move in August, only 2 miles from my home now. You know what? Congratulations. That is awesome. Good for you, Patty. Scott says he wants a crown. He got a crown. You got a crown, Scott. What does that even mean? I don't know what the crown means. But for it just shows up. All right. Hey, you know what? You're King Scott now and Queen Kathy, I guess, and Queen Patty and Queen Suzanne. I just don't know. So Patty, here's my question, and I probably will go on my other channel at Kiki Room and talk about this too. So Al and I'm just saying it. Al's gonna be like, why do you talk about everything? But this is life, right? Do we move? Do we not move? Do we stay? Do we not stay? Do we downsize or do we just get rid of SHIT? And I think that one, I got to keep doing it. And I talk about this all the time. I know, but remember, I have been an eBay seller since 1999. So I have been collecting for decades, okay? I got stuff. And it is just stuff. Is it good stuff? Yes. Whenever I have a yard sale, people love it. They come back repeatedly to my yard sales because they know I have good stuff, right? But I just can't deal with this stuff anymore. And I literally don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. We have a really beautiful piece of property. But Al's always out there cutting the grass. Like somebody said to me, "What's your husband doing today?" I said, "He's cutting the grass." He literally goes, "Again?" I mean, it's just not normal. But Al does enjoy doing what he does. He does enjoy taking care of everything, but it is a lot. And now, Patty, please correct me if I'm wrong. You moved in a condo, I think, right? And I did talk to somebody a while ago. She sold her house in Coventry. This is going back, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And she moved into a condo. She's like, "Best thing we ever did." But then other people I've spoken to who've done that, they're like, "I wish I still had my house." So it's so conflicting and so confusing. I don't know, but we really are at that stage where we just keep tossing it. So Patty says, "We downsized 6 years ago. We were living in an apartment and new home is a condo. No outside maintenance or yard work. I recommend downsizing. I have not missed the stuff. See? Do you see what I'm saying? I know. It's just hard. It really is hard. And I mean, I can let go of the stuff. I can. But I think it's the massive amount of stuff that there is. And I know I'm not the only one because I know other people have stuff. But literally, it is just thinking about, oh my God. And I will have yard sales because I'm not just donating all my stuff. I have good stuff. And Scott says, my parents stayed in their home but cleaned out the SH from attic to basement. And again, that's moving it from one spot to another. We just want it out now. We just want it out. We're going to have 500 yard sales. I talk about this every week because we're almost, see, it's hard now because now it's July and there are barely any yard sales. So people are at the beach. They're not going to come to my yard sales. So now we really do have to wait until September. I may have a few small ones, just putting out some really nice things and seeing what happens until the fall hits and then just going to keep doing it. Kathy says, I can't downsize. I live in a one-bedroom apartment. Well, then you don't need to. You know, you don't need to. Patty says, I don't miss our old house at all. I think I would miss my old house. That's because of the view that we have, the privacy, the convenience to everything. It's like we're in the middle of nowhere without being in the middle of nowhere, you know? So I think I would miss that. In terms of missing the house itself, I wouldn't miss that. I would just miss the location for sure. For sure. Well, thank you for letting me vent. I appreciate that. Wow, that's 26 minutes of venting. So again, keep checking out my other channel. I'm sure I'm just going to do a video on that whole thing about leaving, not leaving. It's so confusing. Really. We're in a spot. I think I'm going to start looking just to see what's out there. And in Rhode Island, I'm hearing different things around the country. I do listen to a lot of different real estate podcasts. Some places are seeing falling real estate values, others are just staying the same. And I can tell you this, in Rhode Island, it's not changing. The prices are staying high, overinflated, in my opinion, in my own humble personal opinion. They're selling sometimes before they even hit the market. I mean, the sign goes out, it's already got a pending on it. So in Rhode Island, it's still pretty blazing hot. I do, however, see a lot more signs going up. And I think I said this a few months ago. The signs are going out. So as inventory starts to rise, people are going to have more choices and they're going to be able to get a better deal. So maybe that's what's happening. But I will tell you, things are going into pending right away. But you can't be nuts. Like if I wanted to ask 10 million for my house, clearly I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to get 10 million. And I think we've still got a ton of sellers that are thinking they have a $10 million property when in reality, maybe 800,000. And it's still going to sell in a minute. And saying those things and saying those numbers, if you have a $700,000 or $800,000 house, it's going to sell like that. Who's buying these houses? You know who's buying them? 20-year-olds. Like what? Because they're getting rich in crypto. It's ridiculous. I can't. Or they're on TikTok selling lip gloss. I don't know. I'm not one of them. So, hey, Sandra, how are you? Patty says, yes, I can see you missing your pond. It's so nice. It is. And that's what I'm saying. That's my peace. That is my peace every day. This is my rehab, my therapy, my YouTube. I was like, what do you mean you're doing a show this morning? We've had a weekend already. I'm like, because I have to. I have to see you guys and I have to do this because I love doing this. I do. I love doing this. And as I've said many times before, this is my therapy and I enjoy it. It makes me happy. And I'm going to have a great day now because I was able to spend some time with you guys and talk about what's going on. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about what's going on. And there is a lot today, a lot of different interesting things. So Brad Pitt, I had no idea that this was a thing. Brad Pitt makes bold legal move against ex-wife Angelina Jolie as battle over French winery rages on. Now, I'm not going to share my screen right now. because Al said when I share my screen, that's when the clicking gets worse. So I don't know. We're gonna try something a little different. I'm just gonna talk and we'll see what happens. So first of all, I didn't even know that Brad and Angelina had a winery. I had no idea, but they're fighting about it. I guess their winery called Chateau Miraval, probably butchered that name, still going on. I don't need to hear you. You are an ad. So let's see, they finalized their divorce. They're still in a heated legal battle. And by the way, this is from yahoo.com. They're still in a legal battle over the winery. And Angelina sold her stake back in 2021, but Brad didn't approve of her selling her half. See, I don't understand that whole thing. You know, it's like you should just like Hall and Oates, right? John wanted to sell his portion. Why can't he? It's his. He earned it. And if Angelina wants to sell her portion of the winery, who can like buy? You're divorced. What difference does it make? I guess it makes a difference in how the contracts are written up. So Brad is now, let's see, trying to depose Angelina's company, Nouvelle LLC, through which the sale of her portion was made. And reports are saying that Brad wants to depose Angelina's company in their long running feud over the French winery that they own together. They purchased the estate in 2011 for around $60 million, just a drop in the bucket, I'm sure. And they just went on to own it together even after they split up in 2016. But in 2021, Angelina just sold her portion, which I don't see why she can't, to the Stoll Group or Stoli Group, making Brad upset. He was upset and he filed a lawsuit saying that she sold that without my approval. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't understand. It's hers. So Brad asked the court to compel Nouvelle LLC, which is Angelina's company, to sit for a deposition regarding their initial investment in the winery. And that's what leads me to believe that probably how the original contract was written, Angelina could not sell her portion without Brad saying it's okay. So, going to that, if that's how it was written, which I'm guessing that's how it was, but I don't know, it's alleged. What's Angelina going to do? Hey, Brad, listen, I gotta sell my portion of the winery. I just don't want it anymore. I want some extra cash. I'm gonna invest in some Bitcoin. Can I sell it? Angelina, do what you want. Like really, what is he gonna do? If she picked up the phone and called him or FaceTimed him or whatever, like, is he gonna say no? Maybe. It's just so weird. So he's also demanding the same thing from Tenute Del Mondo, a subsidiary of the Stoli Group, to whom Angelina sold her portion of the winery to. And Brad also wants subsequent financial contributions to the home and winery at the heart of this dispute. Of course, it comes down to money. And I guess so, as I'm going down the article, this says Brad Pitt claims Angelina Jolie denied him the chance to match the offer for her winery stake. So there you go. It's about the money. He wanted to buy her out. I guess that's what it sounds like to me reading that headline. So he wanted to own the whole thing. He's mad, yada, yada, yada. And that actually happened. I'll be honest with you. Well, no, it didn't. Nowhere close. Al and I are not Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Let's just make that clear. Not even not even on a smidge of a level. But, we have this huge property behind us with the ponds and everything. We were never told that it was up for sale. And, like, within hours, someone bought it. No one even came to us and said, "Hey, you wanna buy it? You're right here. It's on your property line." Nope. They just did it. But, and were we mad about it? Yeah, we're still salty about it, but what are we gonna do? Nothing, because it wasn't our property. However, you would think as a courtesy, they'd go around to the few houses that are on the pond saying, "Hey, this is for sale. Do you wanna buy it?" But then that's where you say, it's probably a backdoor deal." You know, it's a friend of a friend of a friend. That's what you say. That's what you think, allegedly, of course. So, Brad Pitt actually accused Angelina of selling her stake in the winery in an underhanded manner. Oh, did I just use that word? To the group that ultimately purchased it despite being in negotiations with him over the same stake. Aha. So, as I read that paragraph, it sounds like Angelina was perhaps chit-chatting with Brad to potentially sell him her portion of the winery. So that's where the anger comes in, and I don't blame Brad. See, you gotta read the whole story. So I'd be mad too. If I was in negotiations and then somebody turned around, the partner turned around, ex-partner, and said, "Listen, I just sold it. I just don't wanna deal with it anymore." Yeah, I'd be mad too. And I quote, on March 30th of 2021, a lawyer for Stoli Group contacted Jolie's California-based divorce lawyer to inquire whether she would be interested in selling her stake in Marival, Brad alleged in one recent filing. And that's what the filing said. Aha. So they contacted her. And it goes on to say throughout May of 2021, while Jolie was still purporting to negotiate with Pitt and Mark Perrin, Brad's partner in Miraval, Stoli and Jolie continued to negotiate in secret. Now, that's not cool. That's not cool. Because, you think you have a deal going and then something else is really going on in the other background. Yeah, see, that's kind of stinky. I'm just saying, you know, that's stinky. So maybe that's what happened with Hall& and Oates, allegedly, I don't know. Was John talking to Daryl about potentially selling Daryl his stake? That I don't think I've read that. Maybe, because why would Daryl be so mad? Like, he's so mad. You can tell he's still so bitter. So maybe that was the thing. Maybe him and John verbally said to each other at one point, "Well, John, if you ever sell, I'd be interested in buying your portion." Maybe. I don't know. Daryl, did that ever happen? I bet he would answer. I bet he would say, "Yes, I was talking to John about it, and John was gonna sell me everything, and then he just sold it." So maybe that's what happened. I'm still really sad about Hall& and Oates not being buddies anymore. I don't think they've been buddies for a long time, but I'm still upset about it. I love them. Anywho, I love them separately for their own being. So I guess according to the filing, Angelina and the Stoli Group, they agreed on a price of around 65 million, which Brad had no knowledge about, and it didn't give him the opportunity to even match their offer. So he's mad, and now I can say I don't blame him after reading through the whole thing, and this is what happens in news stories, guys. You've got to get the whole picture. Because remember at the beginning of that article, I'm like, Angelina, come on now. That's not nice. No, I was saying you should. No, I'm sorry. In the beginning, I was saying, Angelina, go girl. You could sell your part of the winery. And then it's Angelina. That's not nice. You shouldn't be doing stuff behind Brady's back. Brady's back. Brady's back. All right, moving on to Dave Grohl. Remember that whole thing? He got somebody pregnant while he was still married. Like what? What the what? That was a whole thing. And some people in the comments when I was talking about it here. Well, it's nobody's business. It kind of is everybody's business because it's in the headlines all over the place. I mean, it's what everybody's talking about is how he had a baby while he was still married to his wife. And that's just kind of crazy. But according to Billboard.com, Dave Grohl, wife Jordan Bloom, make first public appearance since he had baby outside of my marriage in air quotes. And this all happened and went down last September. Dave came out and said he welcomed a baby girl with the secret woman. So there is Dave with his wife. And this was their first public appearance together at the third day of Wimbledon. What a place to just come out, you know? You know what, honey? Let's just go to the tennis match and let everybody know we're still happy. Are they? That had to be a tough one to swallow. I will tell you that. So this happened on July 2nd, and Dave was in a suit with a tie, I think. And let's see. They seemed happy. They were talking to the people that were sitting next to them. And Dave and Jordan also went to Wimbledon together in 2024, but that's when a few months after they attended Wimbledon in 2024, Dave came out and said, "Yo, I got something to tell you. I got something to tell you, honey." Can you like if Al did that, just um I don't know. I don't know how I would react. I can't even say. I literally can't say because I would have to be in the moment to see what would happen. Oh my gosh, I can't. And they've been married a long time. So let's see. Dave put on Instagram at that point, "I love my wife and my children, and I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness." And if I recall, his daughter was wicked mad. I think she unfollowed him or something. Um, Dave did go on to say, "I plan to be loving and supportive as a parent to her. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together." Oh, no. So Dave married Jordan in 2003. So it's a long time, but like Sammy and Kari have been together for decades. But Dave and Jordan been together a long time, 2003. It's a long time. They have three daughters together, 19-year-old Violet, 16-year-old Harper, and 10-year-old Ophelia. So let's see. He's been busy. In January, he volunteered to help families in need by serving meals in LA during the wildfires. And it's still crazy there, I guess. Like nothing's being done, it sounds like, from what I've read. There's not a lot of movement on the devastation that took place, which is beyond me. I don't understand. The money that's there, why isn't there? Why isn't it quicker? You know, Alligator Island was built in what, 30 seconds? I don't know. Like, it's insane. It's insane. Not to get political, but just saying. So Dave was at Coachella before he played an LA benefit concert a few weeks after that. And then on July 2nd, the Foo Fighters released a new track called Today's Song, celebrating 30 years of the band's debut album. And they did release a statement regarding the late Taylor Hawkins. He passed away in March of 2022. So yeah, so Dave is still with Jordan. She's got to be a strong lady. She's got to be a real strong lady to be tolerating that hootin' falutin' stuff. I can't imagine. I just can't. And I think it's the fact that they're so public and Dave is just so out there. That's what makes it difficult, when somebody's in the public eye. And, when people say, "Oh, you should just mind your own business," it's gossip, but it's all over the place. You can't, this is what we're here to talk about. We're talking about what's going on in the entertainment world because it's happening. It's happening. So, hey, Tanya, how are you? Nice to see you. Penny McGuire from across the pond in the UK. Thank you so much. And man, what time is it in England, Penny? I would love to know. Lasher. Alligator Island was already there. All they had to do was rent the building. You know what? That's good. Isn't it funny how you see all these different things on social media and you don't know what's real and what's not. But anyway, let's move on because we're not going to go into all that. Anywho, so this is from People Magazine and Van Halen's David Lee Roth, who is 70. Again, they put the age in the title. He was spotted in a rare outing in LA. Now, I will share this because we got to see Dave. We got to see Dave. This picture is just kind of, it's not good. It's not the best picture of Dave. I will say that. I'll go back here. That is just not attractive. And then, of course, we have the Clorox toilet cleaning system as an ad right there. No bueno. Why do they do that? Why do they do these types of things? Probably because people like me are sharing their stories. Anyway, So 2 months ago, Dave performed his first solo concert in 5 years, and he did announce a summer tour. Isn't that really? His solo tour was 5 years ago? It feels like it was not 5 years ago, but okay, we're just going to go along with that. So there's Dave in what looks like overalls, and I don't know why he's making that face. Why is Dave making a face like that? That's just I don't know. I have to I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I miss Van Halen. I don't know. Why does he look like that? And what does he have in his pocket? Kleenex? When you get older, you wipe your nose a lot. Did you know that? Your nose runs all the time. The older you get, the more your nose runs. It's a thing. I'm not lying. It's proven. It's proven. So just start buying your Kleenex now because who knows how much Kleenex will be in the year 2035. That $1.19 box of Kleenex might be $500.29 in 2035. We just don't know. So there's Dave, there's hot young Dave in his glory, and he pretty much touched upon every female that was touchable back in the day from what I read. So that was him on June 26th. He had on brown Carhartt overalls and a tan baseball cap. I love how they just are so descriptive with these things. The 70-year-old rock legend's LA outing came nearly 2 months after he performed his first solo concert in 5 years and announced a summer 2025 tour. So let's go ahead. Are they saying where he's going to be? No. So here we go. I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to look at a David Lee Roth tour and see where did it start? I don't know. I haven't kept up with that. Roth tour 2025 because I haven't seen a thing about it. So this is from Ticketmaster, Ticket Blaster, expensive. And now people are saying, right, go look at concert tickets the night of the show. I did that for Def Leppard. They were still insane. I have to say, though, a lot of tickets did sell at the last possible second because I was watching that. But there was still a front row seat, 2 front row seats right before the show started for like $5,000. So I don't know about that whole thing. I mean, people say they've done it. They've gotten great seats for cheap, cheap money before a show. I guess you got to be lucky, you know? So yeah, Dave is doing a bunch of shows. What? No, he's not going to be there. That just must be a thing. So July 22nd, just around the corner, he'll be at the California Mid-State Fair in Paso Robles. And then this is odd. I'm going to share this screen, but no, he's not going to be with Styx and Kevin Cronin. Can I just show you this for a second? Because why would they do that? I just got to show you what I'm seeing. And this is where things can be very confusing. And this is where people can get excited about something, but it's not real. So do you see this? So these are Dave's dates, right? I'm going to go up here. I'm going to show you David Lee Roth tickets, July 22nd, July 21st. And then you've got a promoted ad for Styx and Kevin Cronin and Don Felder for the Brotherhood of Rock tour. Now, me being me, I don't know, maybe you don't read it this way. I would think David Lee Roth's going to be at that show. Reading it like that, because then it goes on to show more David Lee Roth dates. So sticking that Styx promoted, as it says, promoted ad right in the middle, I would be really mad if I went there and David Lee Roth wasn't there because I'm getting a ticket within a David Lee Roth Ticketmaster listing. Tell me if I'm reading that incorrectly. I mean, clearly he's not going to be there because there's been no mention of David Lee Roth appearing with Styx, Kevin Cronin, and Don Felder. I haven't heard anything. Did I miss something? Let me go back to the comments and see. David Lee Roth is going to be at Hampton Beach, New Hampshire in September. I'll be there. Oh, that's so fun. I didn't even know that. But do you see what I'm saying? So I'm going to get rid of that. And let's go back and let's read the article about Patty says, my sister went to Styx Kevin Cronin concert on July 3rd. She said there were lots of empty seats. Styx is so good. here's the thing, right? I love Styx. I think they put on such an amazing show. Don Felder, same thing. Kevin Cronin, I haven't seen him. Um, and I think he's done or something. I don't know. We talked about that last week, but we won't get into that right now. They both put on great shows. Again, I don't know about Kevin because I haven't seen him, but I think the problem with Styx, and it's not a problem, right? But I think the problem with Styx is that they're out there so much and they've done so many shows that people have probably already seen them 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Do you go see them again, or do you go see somebody that you haven't seen yet or seen in a long time? You're probably gonna go that route. See somebody you haven't seen in a long time. And I think that may be why, you know, there were a lot of empty seats. Styx is so good live, Scott. I agree with you. But again, I looked at the tickets for they're coming to Mansfield Xfinity in July, I believe, and they're still really expensive. I'm just not paying that kind of money. I do wanna go though. I do. We'll see. We'll see. So moving on with David Lee Roth, he was in LA last week and he was leaving a building. He kept a low profile. Dave, keep a low profile? That's surprising. And let's see, what else did they say? It was 2 months after he performed his first solo concert in 5 years. We said that he was at the M3 Rock Festival in Columbia, Maryland. That happened on May 3rd. And of course, he sang Van Halen classics and he announced a summer tour on that day at that show. And he's also going to stop in New Hampshire, Florida, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Oklahoma, and more states. But in 2021, David Lee Roth announced his intention to retire from music. He said he would be ending his career with 5 shows at the House of Blues at Mandalay Bay in January of 2022. Again, everybody's retiring, but not really. Like you can't even take it as a thing anymore. You just can't. Like, oh, they're retiring. We better go see them now. Nope, they're coming right back. Just they're not going. Take it as, you know what? We'll be right back. Give us 2 minutes. We'll be right back. So Dave said back then, I'm throwing in the shoes. I'm retiring. This is the first and only official announcement. You've got the news. Share it with the world. And he didn't retire. And he's on tour this summer. And that's that. More people not retiring. Paul Simon, though, poor guy. He's 83 years old. Why is this always about age? Well, because they put it in the title. I can't help it. They put it in the title. Let me make sure you can still see me. Yeah, hi. So this is from eonline.com. And he actually had back surgery, so he had to postpone shows. Yeah, back surgery's tough. Hi, 2-time back surgery person. And not a fun recovery, I will tell you that. Not fun at all. So days after severe back pain forced the Graceland singer to cancel 2 shows during his A Quiet Celebration tour, his team shared a very optimistic update. And they said Paul Simon underwent a surgical procedure this week to alleviate severe back pain that he has been experiencing for some time. And that was shared on July 3rd. Thanks to a great team of doctors, the surgery went well as expected. But now I had my second one, 10 years ago. So I was still in my 40s when I had my second back surgery. And let me tell you, the second time recovering from back surgery was so much worse than the first time. And Paul is 83. He's almost 30 years older than I am. So God bless him. I can't even imagine. I just can't. It is such a painful thing to go through. And let's see, he's having obviously more time to recover. So he pushed back his July 7th show, which is tomorrow, at the Terrace Theater in Long Beach, California, to July 8th. So he moved it back a day. How is he doing a show a few days after back surgery? Holy Macaulay. I mean, I'm guessing the guy's going to be on stage what? At least an hour and a half, and I'm sure he could be on there 2.5 hours. Are they gonna have him sitting up in bed so he's comfy? Holy crap, that's insane to me. So the statement went on to say it has become clear he will need one additional day of rest and recuperation after back surgery to ensure he is able to perform at the top of his ability in Long Beach. We are sorry for any inconvenience this may cause, but Paul is looking forward to seeing everyone. Let the guy rest, for God's sakes. Like, jeez. I can't. He's probably gonna be well, all right, no, I myself, and again, I know I'm going back to myself, but I kinda, I went through it too. The pain medication, I hate it, makes me vomit. Um, I hate pain meds. I do. I hate them. So, I took myself off them, and then I landed myself back in the hospital, so that was dumb. Don't do that, and that was right after I came home from my surgery. Um, but I was off the pain meds after day 2. So, I understand that. However, I kept like a low dose of high dose aspirin or whatever it was, and that did help me, get through, and I just kept taking them to make sure it didn't wear off. But the fact that he's 83 and just went through back surgery a few days ago and is getting back on the stage to me is insane. To me is insane. And let's talk about this. So back in 2018, the and Garfunkel icon retired from touring after experiencing dramatic hearing loss. So he's not only dealing with his back, he can't hear a thing. Did you say, Art, are you here? Art's not there. But maybe he heard him, but he's not there. He didn't hear him. He can't hear, he can't walk. I mean, like what that well, I didn't say he can't. It's alleged. I don't know. And let's see, I guess his hearing loss has been worked on and he definitely got better from that. He said, "I'm going through my repertoire and reducing a lot of the choices that I make to acoustic versions. It's all much quieter. I don't think creativity stops with disability. So far, I haven't experienced that, and I hope not to." So good for Paul. I hope that he's feeling better very, very soon. But dear Lord, I God bless you, man. How you doing that? I don't know. And who knows? They may cancel right before. But I say can't. If you're going to cancel a show, cancel it as soon as you can instead of waiting until people get there. Like I guess, and I'm not going to read the story, but Kelly Clarkson canceled a show just recently, right before the show was supposed to start. I think it was in Vegas. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm just going according to the title I read and fans were really mad. I don't know why she had to cancel. I did not dig into it. But, this happens a lot. This does. We talk about this a lot. Shows getting canceled right before, the person's supposed to go on stage. If you can avoid that, I say do it. Don't let the people come out. Do all the things they got to do. Get ready, fly, drive, train, whatever they got to do. Book a hotel. Cancel it in advance. If you know the star can't perform, do the right thing. That's all I say. That's just my 2 cents. So moving on to breezysports.co.uk. It's for you, Penny. Rob Halford officially announces his retirement from music at the age of 73. Again, in the title, I can't make that up. It's in the title. Marking the final curtain call on a remarkable 7-decade career that transformed the sound and spirit of heavy metal. And there is Rob. The metal god has spoken, and Judas Priest fans around the world are just so sad that Rob has announced his retirement. But again, we just don't know. Will it stick? And I hate to say that. I really do. But it's kind of like when you cry wolf. Is it really a retirement or not? You just don't know nowadays. But Rob announced his retirement, and it came with a mix of pride, humility, and finality, marking the end of an extraordinary 7-decade career. 7 decades, holy moly, that forever changed the landscape of rock and metal. Clearly, Rob wasn't in this for 7 decades because he's 73. So he would have been 3 when he was in Judas Priest, and I don't think he was. So Rob said in a heartfelt video message shared on Judas Priest's official socials, he said, "The road, the stage, the fans, it's been my life, but now it's time to hang up the leather and studs and step away with my heart full." And, hopefully that's the case because, you want to see someone enjoy the rest of their life and, have some personal fun for yourself because it is short. Our time here is like that. And, we don't know what's going to happen today, tomorrow, within the next 30 seconds. We just don't know. So I give these people a lot of credit that really do step away after having such a miraculous career of fun and gosh only knows what else. Good for them. You just got to be happy for them that and he's probably going away on the top, right? You haven't heard anything like, "Oh, we should stop." You don't really hear that about Rob. You don't. So I think it's good to step away when you still can. However, I do understand the other side of the coin when artists just can't because this is all they know and this is what they love and this is their entire life completely. So you do have to look at both sides of the coin. However, good for Rob. I think it's great. And Ozzy. So, guys, last night, Ozzy was in Birmingham, England. He played his last and final show. So, what happened? The Prince of Darkness went out there. He did his thing. It looked like he had a great time. I'm sure he was emotional. Ozzy has been the type of performer, this disease that he has really just stripped away his ability to go and perform. He hasn't been able to do that. He can't physically. So Ozzy has just always been that type of performer. He loves his fans. He says it all the time. He wants nothing more than to be on that stage. And that's where we go back to talking about Rob and artists retiring and stuff. Ozzy's the type of guy I don't think he would have ever retired because he just wanted to be out there doing his thing because he just loves it. He would be that guy. He would be that performer, just doing it until he didn't do it anymore, probably on that stage. So James Hetfield, he, of course, from Metallica, he performed. There were tons and tons of acts. Steven Tyler was there. He stepped out of, his bubble to be at Ozzy's last performance. It was a day-long festival called Back to the Beginning, and it was a tribute as well as a farewell to Ozzy. And of course, Ozzy has stepped back from live performance and health issues because of health issues, including Parkinson's disease and emphysema. And he played solo for the first time back in 2005. He reunited with all 3 other original members of Black Sabbath, including Tony Iommi, Terrence Butler, known as Geezer, and drummer Bill Ward back in the day. And both performances were billed as career finales at the event, which was organized by Osbourne's wife, Sharon, along with Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello, and streamed worldwide with a 2-hour delay. Again, this is from the New York Times.com. Metallica is so grateful to be invited here to see all your beautiful faces and celebrate the band Black Sabbath because without Sabbath, there would be no Metallica, Hetfield continued. Thank you, boys, for giving us a purpose in life. Thank you, Black Sabbath. And gratitude was the theme of the night. I've got to tell you how beautiful this is because no matter what kind of madness and division is going on outside these walls, in here, it's really simple. Alice in Chains singer William Duvall said, "We're all just a bunch of head-banging, riff-loving freaks." You got that right. I mean, music is everything, right? And the lineup, I guess, was pretty crazy. Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins was there. Tool, Alice in Chains, uh, Lamb of God, Steven Tyler. Sammy Hagar was there too. Ronnie Wood from the Stones. And between sets, there were some vignettes streamed by Dolly Parton, Cyndi Lauper, Elton John, Jason Momoa, the actor, that guy with the long hair, or like that guy. Um, I mean, whether you grew up listening to Ozzy or not, we all know who he is. We all recognize him as, an icon of rock music and metal. I mean, it just is what it is. And we all know who Ozzy Osbourne is. No matter who you are, no matter what type of music you like, we all know who Ozzy Osbourne is. So Rudy Sarzo was there as well. And then we move on to Sharon. This is from the New York Post. Sharon Osbourne disinvited band from husband Ozzy's Black Sabbath farewell concert. I don't know what this is all about. This came out today. One band was kicked off the finale. So Sharon, Ozzy's woman, she said that she disinvited a greedy group from her husband's emotional last concert on Saturday because they wanted to cash in on his final farewell. Sharon said, and I quote, "It's not the time to make a profit. After the show, I'll let everybody know who it was. I think people will be shocked." Oh, so we don't know. We don't know. So Black Sabbath, consisting of Ozzy, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, and Bill Ward, held their star-studded goodbye concert called Back to the Beginning at Villa Park Stadium in Birmingham, England, where the band came together originally in 1968. Holy moly. And all the money during the show went to 3 charities, which is pretty amazing. To Cure Parkinson's, Birmingham Children's Hospital, and Acorn Children's Hospice. And this, I was just having this conversation with someone last night. I love when celebrities, artists, people who have money, even people who don't have a lot of money who are famous, but they go out and they give back to their communities. I'm all about reading these stories. I think it's amazing. And the fact that the money from this show, which probably cost a shat ton to put on, was farmed out to 3 amazing charities is just makes it so much sweeter. And again, as emotional as it was for Ozzy, I'm sure, wasn't there, that also had to make him and Sharon feel really good that they were able to do this for these charities. And the show sold out the 42,000 seat stadium. So they made some good money for these charities. And this was the first time that the original Black Sabbath performed together in 20 years. 20 years. So it's going to be interesting to see who the band was that was trying to cash in. The article doesn't say it. This article just came out right before it came on here. So we'll be following that to see who the band was. And let's go ahead. Let me share this with you guys. Hold on. A couple of videos here from last night. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let's go back to this. This is Ozzy. Let me pause that. And this is Ozzy actually coming on stage. Let me make sure you can see it. Yep. It's from TikTok. There he is in his decked out wheelchair. That was a production. Grabbing the mic. I can't hear you. And look at the side of the stage, all the people, probably family, friends, everybody's back there. Pretty cool. And then we'll go to this one. I have one more. And this is also from TikTok, of course. And this is from NKK 666777. Here we go. This is the goodbye. Tony Iommi. Look at the people on the side of the stage. Can you just imagine how Ozzy felt? at that point in time, like, this is it. He is not going to do another show because I think it was a tremendous amount of work on everyone's part just to get him to the point for him to do that performance yesterday, and I think it was kind of a touch and go thing throughout the last couple of weeks. Would he be able to even do it? So, you know what? Kudos to Ozzy Osbourne. Sharon as well, of course. I mean, she's just the ultimate supporter, the supportive wife, and just making sure he got out there and did his last show. Amazing, amazing. And guys, can you believe Grease? Grease is old. The movie old as dust, like us, right? No, we're fine. We're all good. This is from yahoo.com and actually Billboard magazine. Danny Zuko returns John Travolta surprises Grease sing-along crowd with Hollywood Bowl appearance. Stop. Like, can I just tell you what? I love John Travolta. Oh my God. Like, I can't. I don't know how many times I watched Grease and Saturday Night Fever over and over again just to watch John Travolta. I mean, his eyes. Oh my lord, like, the lucky people that are in his life that get to look at him, just Johnny. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. So, it's been 47 years since Grease was released in 1978. I remember it like it was yesterday. Gosh dang it, I saw that movie I don't know how many times. Literally, went to the movie theater, the Castle Cinema in Providence, Rhode Island. It was double featured with Saturday Night Fever. I don't know, it was $1 to get in, and I think they had coupons, 99 cents, like, stop. For a double feature, get out of town. It was the best thing since sliced bread. It was so fun to just sit in the movie theater for 3 or 4 hours, just mesmerized, literally. It was the coolest feeling ever. And then when it came on TV and I had the soundtrack on vinyl, I have a couple of vinyls of Grease. They're not my originals. I wish I'd kept them. I had the trading cards in there. What a dummy. We do let go of things and anyway. So, been 47 years since Grease was released. The late Olivia Newton-John is Sandy. I mean, what the chemistry those two had on that screen was undeniable for that movie. You just gotta go back and say, "My gosh, they were perfect together." Whoever cast them in those 2 roles, they saw something that we were all lucky enough to eventually see. And the soundtrack did reach number 1 on Billboard's 200, and it had 4 top 5 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. And on Friday night, June 27th, John Travolta reemerged at the Hollywood Bowl dressed up as Danny Zuko. Mm. John was in his early 20s when he premiered in the movie Grease. He's now 71 years old, and he looks freaking amazing. He's been through a lot too. And his appearance, nobody knew he was gonna do that. Well, I mean, I'm sure people knew behind the scenes, but you're sitting there and John Travolta freaking comes out dressed up as Danny Zuko. And it was, I guess, a Grease sing-along event. I can't, oh my gosh, just imagine. Just like, if he would imagine him just singing to you. Oh, lordy lord. So tonight at the Hollywood Bowl, for the first time, I surprised everyone at the Grease sing-along and dressed up as Danny Zuko. No one knew, not even the cast, John said in a social media post. So the cast didn't even know he was gonna be there. I would have peed myself. I would like, I would have told, like, incontinence, it would have happened because embarrassing. That would have been really embarrassing. However, oh my gosh, I can't. He went on to say, "Thank you for a great evening." And I guess there's a video filmed from the event on his social media. Let's see, can I find it? Let's see. Let's go to TikTok. Because TikTok, I just love TikTok. TikTok. TikTok, you don't stop. John Travolta. Johnny? Johnny? John Travolta, Grease. See if we got something from there. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, girl. All right. Well, I'm gonna pause that. I'm gonna share, and we're gonna go here, and then go here, and then we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna hit play. And I haven't seen this yet either. And he's even got the strut. Look at him. Oh, and they were from Greece too. Oh, Dee Khan, right? Is that her? Oh, girl, look at his pants, how tight they are. Oh my lord. Oh my, like, oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. I know, what a hunk, Cindy. You're right. I just love it. Love it. And you can go and watch. I guess there's something else on his social media, so you might as well go and check it out. That's just crazy. Just crazy. And let's see who we got next. Calls. Okay. So talking about retiring, Mr. Lou Gramm, who I adore, love, nicest guy on the planet, still going out there rocking it. But again, he's announced his retirement several times. This is an article back from actually last year. Let me share it. I'll share it. Let's do this. This is from last year. And this is from SILive.com. Legendary classic rock singer calls it quit after 50 years. This is from March 16th of 2024. And again, I don't know if this was maybe the fifth time Lou had announced he was going to retire. He had an interview with Seven Mountains Media, Lee Ritchie, and he said, "It's very, very satisfying to be honored like this after years and years of writing, recording, and more time than that," said the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominee, who was 73, during the interview. Because remember, him and Foreigner finally got inducted into the Rock Hall. And he said, "This is my last year. I've been doing it, for almost 50 years. I would like to turn my attention to my family and my muscle cars, lose a big car guy, and just enjoy myself, knowing that when I lay down at night, it'll be in my own bed. This is going to be it," he said. "I've been putting it off and putting it off, and I still enjoy performing. But when you've been doing it for as long as I have, the travel is the worst." And I know Lewis said that to me as well. "It really takes its toll, and that's a sign that you're getting old." I don't think that's a sign you're getting old, Lou. Sign of the travel industry, to be quite honest, because a lot of people talk about y- how terrible it is to travel now. So it's not just you, Lou, because we love you. It's just a travel thing. But moving on, and then we'll share this screen for this article. Announced, and again, how long have we been saying this? Let's be honest. Get rid of that. Foreigner will reunite with Lou Gramm for late 2025 US tour. This just came out a few days ago on July 3rd from Society of Rock and several other news outlets. So they're nearing their 50th anniversary. They announced a major release of their 1981 hit album, Four. And coming up on September 12th, Rhino will release a deluxe edition titled Foreigner 4 Deluxe. And this version will be available in black vinyl and other formats. It was recorded at Electric Lady Studios in New York with producer Robert John Mutt Lang. Wow, known for working with Def Leppard and AC/DC. Amazing, amazing producer. And so we've got some special things on this upcoming release. It's also going to have a booklet with over 60 rare photos, 5 unreleased songs, 14 early versions, 15 instrumental takes, and 15 live tracks from the band's 1981-1982 world tour. This is something that I would definitely, definitely get. Digital versions will carry similar content, including live recordings and alternates. So that sounds like a really great thing. And going through, the original impact of Four, Hi, waiting for a girl like you, jukebox hero, urgent. I mean, it's crazy. The list is amazing. But now they're talking about a new tour with Lou Gramm returning. We know that Lou did some dates with Foreigner overseas, and fans went bananas. I mean, he did a few songs, and Luis Maldonado will be stepping in for Kelly Hansen, who is leaving Foreigner as their lead singer at the end of the summer, which I think the last date's in August, maybe September. I don't know. I forget. I just talked about it not too long ago. But I have been saying for a long time, couple of years or whatever, why wouldn't Foreigner have Lou appear on their tour? It just didn't make sense to me. Like, hi, you see what a following Lou Gramm has. You see what people literally travel to go and see him perform. Lou is still, doing well. I think he slowed down on the amount of solo shows he's done for this year because he's done the Foreigner thing. Why not? Right? I mean, Lou was doing tons and tons and tons of shows, tons of them. And every show that we've been to, a Lou Gramm show, the place is packed and people, Lou, Lou, Lou. They did. It's a great show. Patty's been to them. It's so much fun. And he really does have a fun show. So fans are just going to follow him. Why Foreigner didn't do this earlier, I don't know. But now it kind of makes sense because if Kelly's leaving and Lou's going to be joining them near the end of 2025, maybe it was because of a thing between him and Kelly. Maybe there was a little personality thing going on. Maybe Lou didn't want to. Maybe he just didn't want to. And the fact that Lou has announced his retirement several times, and is not really retiring, I'm not mad about that because I love seeing Lou. I mean, it's a great show. And I love that Lou is gonna be out there, and I do think Lou is one of those performers who's not going to retire. He's just not going to. He's gonna just be here until he can't be here anymore because he loves it so much. He's always seeing his fans after the show. He's always just, out there for everybody, says hi, shakes hands. He's such a great guy. He really is. And he's so appreciative of us. He just is. So moving forward, Luis Maldonado, yep, he's stepping in for Kelly. We've got Jeff Pilson on bass, Michael Bluestein on keyboards, Bruce Watson on guitar, Chris Frazier on drums, and Lou Gramm is going to be joining them on select dates to perform songs he helped to create more than 4 decades ago, which makes total sense. As Mick, I'm assuming, his health is not great. So if you can't have Mick, and they haven't really had Mick in a while, why not have Lou, who's still out there having a great time, sounds great, why not? Why not? And this tour that Lou will be joining them on for several dates will have Luis as the lead singer, and it says Kelly Hansen recently wrapped up his final tour with the band after announcing his departure on The Voice season finale. Well, he's still going, right? Kelly's still out there, isn't he? Or did he leave now? I don't think so. I think Kelly's still out there. But there's also a new song release from Foreigner. This is from blabbermouth.net. And get rid of that guy. But this was out a while ago. Here, newly finished Foreigner 4 era song, Fool If You Love Him, featuring Lou Gramm on vocals. But if I'm not mistaken, this came out last year, maybe? But I guess they just finished it. They were talking about it, and now it's out. But a newly finished Foreigner song, Fool If You Love Him, featuring the band's original singer Lou Gramm on vocals, can be streamed now. So I think they were announcing it, they were talking about it, but now it's finished and it's out on streaming platforms. I have not listened to it yet. I will listen to it. I can't listen to it now. I will get in trouble. And it was written by Mick Jones and Lou Gramm during their 4 album time, which is cool. And it's going to be included on the extensive super deluxe editions of the 1981 Smash Multi-Platinum LP, which is coming out on September 12th by Rhino, which we just talked about. Fool If You Love Him was left unfinished, it says, and it was just shelved during the 4 recording. And later, like today later, decades later, Lou came back. He wrote a new verse and recorded fresh vocals to bring the old song back to being new. So now, for the first time ever, fans can hear the finished version of a track that almost never was. And I know that Lou has said several times there are a bunch of those unfinished tracks that he would like to dust off, polish, and bring it back to life. And why not? Why not? And moving forward, my baby boy, Bret Michaels, I guess something happened. He had a health scare, which made me sad because I absolutely love my Bretty. You know that. Y'all do. And this is from Syracuse.com. Rock singer to reschedule tour dates after health scare. And this just came out on July 3rd, which was a few days ago. Brett said he's going to make changes to his insane touring schedule after a recent health scare. Now, we all know Bret Michaels puts on one heck of a show, honey. He is sweating, he's jumping, the guy's jacked, he looks good. He's got nice eyes too. I got to tell you that. He does. He has nice eyes. He can he can just get that crowd going. He is a great front man. He's fun. He just puts on a super fun show. So he said earlier this week he struggled with low blood sugar at recent shows in Pittsburgh and Washington. And the front man thanked fans for being patient during the packed meet and greet sessions. But he came out and said, you know what? I should have listened to myself. I should have been more patient with me. And Brett said, and I quote, although I knew my blood sugar was low, I was excited to meet everyone and not let anyone down. He's great like that too. He's always doing the meet and greets. Unfortunately, the highs and lows of living with my diabetes since I've been 6 years old occasionally just kick my butt. Last night I went on stage and even added a song or two to the set to prove to myself and to the fans that I could do it. At the end, my blood sugar walking off the stage was a real life 39. I mean, that is not good. Michaels, who has 3 upstate New York concerts scheduled over the next few months, said he's going to, just move things around with his upcoming shows. And he didn't say when the changes will be announced or if some concerts may even be postponed, rescheduled, or just canceled. But he said one show in Spokane, which is scheduled for, I think it was last night, was going to be moved to a later date. So Brett is currently scheduled to open for Def Leppard on July 22nd at the Broadview stage at SPAC, Saratoga Performing Arts Center in Saratoga Springs. And he's also supposed to headline an August 3rd concert at Bethel Woods Center for the Arts with Vince Neil and Stephen Pearcy. But we know that Vince had to cancel just recently, and Sebastian Bach filled him for him, and fans were not mad about it. They loved it. They love Sebastian. And he also has a nearly sold out solo show September 20th at Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino in Salamanca. I mean, Brett can carry the show himself. He doesn't need to headline. He doesn't need to have an opener. He can just do it all himself because he is good like that. And Brett says, I vow in the near future I'm going to take that time needed, and please forgive me if I have to move some of the shows around until I get this under control. The schedule this summer is completely insane, all over the place, and some of these will have to be rearranged. As one time I'm in Pennsylvania, the next night Montana, like we're talking across the country here, one night Pittsburgh, the next night Oklahoma, and so on. And he goes on to say, I am forever grateful, but just have to rearrange some of this schedule as everyone knows. Again, my apologies. I love the shows, the fans, and the music. We know that, Brett. We know you do because you're always out there and you're always just giving it 5 gazillion%. So it's okay, Bretty, my Bretty. We love you anyway. You do what you got to do. You get well, you get healthy, and we're always going to love you. So, oh my God, I love him. Did I ever say that? I just love me some Bret Michaels. I do. Anyway, hit the like button if you can. I appreciate it very much. So let's just see what songs were playing on our radio this day in 1978. Can you believe it? Like, let's just go back a little bit and I'm going to share my screen here because it's so fun. It's so fun to see what we were listening to and even though I listen to these songs and this is what I basically listen to, it's just kind of fun to go back and really just say, "Hey, Donna Summer was at number 10 with Last Dance." I mean, how many of you if you're sure that you're the one for me. All that I ask is that you dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. She had that, like, girl, Donna Summer, another one of my loves. Donna Summer was at number 10 with Last Dance, and she had moved up a notch. That's what that little green arrow is. At number 9, "It's a Heartache," that gravelly voice. "Nothing but a heartache." I sound like I was smoking just then. Bonnie Tyler, "It's a Heartache." That went down. I think it was at number 6, and it went down to number 9. Number 8, "Dance with Me," Peter Brown and Betty Wright. Is that "Dance with me, I want to be a partner, can't you see?" Is that the one? I don't know, I hope so. At number 7, "The Groove Line" by Heatwave. You remember Heatwave, "Always and Forever." The way you went roller skating and you really hoped that boy over there was gonna ask you to roller skate with him during Ladies' Choice, but it never happened for me. I had to go and fish them out. Anyway, Heatwave was at number 7 with The Groove Line. Number 6, "Miss You." Miss You. Rolling Stones. And number 5, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Still the same. Number 4, Used to Be My Girl, the OJs. That was a great, oh, see, now that I haven't heard in a long time. And look at the title, Used to Be My Girl. I did not know the title was like that. I would think Used to Be My Girl. Didn't know. See? Learn something new musically every single day. At number 3, you can change your mind. You change your mind. If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. And the odds feel, take a chance on me. ABBA at number 3. And at number 2, oh my goodness, is this Baker Street? Finding your way down Baker Street. Jerry Rafferty, Baker Street. Great, great song. And that was sticking at number 2 on that day. And at number 1, oh, what a shame. What a shame. Having to say the late Andy Gibb, but he was at number 1 with Shadow Dancing. And that was the second week in a row, I believe, that he was at number 1 with Shadow Dancing. So if you had not listened to any Andy Gibb in a while, go ahead and on this day, July 6th of 2025, go ahead and listen to Andy Gibb because he was great. He was just, So that's what we were listening to on our little transistor radios on this day back in 1978. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I really, really hope that you have an amazing day. Hey, Jeff, thank you for being here. Roller Park is great memories. I'm telling you, it honestly, Andy Gibb, how do you not? How do you not just, oh my gosh. Great, great, great memories. Guys, thank you again for being here. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful rest of this beautiful Sunday. We have the day. Enjoy it. And guys, remember, I love you, love you, love you. And I will definitely see you soon. Have an awesome day, guys. Thank you so much.